So there's a very interesting new Nintendo Switch 2 operating system leak floating around online that's gaining a lot of traction. It would have been one of those throwaway posts that you don't pay that much attention to with all of the different claims that this particular user was making, but you might remember that we recently found out due to a leaked factory image of a Joy-Con 2, presumably that's what it is. It literally has a serial number that checks out on Nintendo's website. It would be incredibly hard to fake with AI, and considering the small font and text that's on there from like the legal stuff on the back of the Joy-Con, and this is just simply what happens when you put things into mass production before revealing them. So the leak floodgates have more or less been open wide this entire end of 2024 and into 2025. And one thing that this particular user mentioned in their post was the idea of a optical sensor within the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con, some kind of pointer mechanic, and we of course now know to somewhat loosely expect that. There's even some shipping data that people have dove into deeper and realized that the type of things that you put on the bottom of a mouse are actually within the Nintendo Switch 2 ordering data that they are supplying to all of these various partners that are assembling Nintendo Switch 2 finalized hardware. So while not confirmed by any stretch of the imagination, it does give us some exciting possibilities of what we might see the home screen look like, and I want to get on the same page with all of this. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And we have to first start off by hopping right over to our Nintendo Switch 2, where you do have the following post by the user in question, and we will then break down exactly what this means if it does end up being true or close to. I have seen the Switch 2 OS. Yes, a few devs do have limited access, and I've been able to see images. First off, this OS is basically a modernized Wii U menu. It has 10 row tiles on display at once, which is a very big upgrade from the original Switch. Animated backgrounds and menu music return. I only saw dark mode, by the way. You can tint your icons to change the color of them. All black and red goes hard. Surprisingly, Vidmo is a legit application on the UI. I was skeptical of that at first, but it does seem to be real. No one was able to test any of the bottom applications outside of the Nintendo eShop. Apparently, you get stuck on a loading screen, and the loading screen reminds me of something from Nickelodeon. There are 6 tabs on the UI as well, so I assume you can have 60 games on the home screen at once, and because of how it's designed, you can quickly scroll through your entire library. I am genuinely happy with the layout of the UI. It fixes all the issues when it came to finding your games. It basically solved the problem by going back to what the Wii U and 3DS did, but whatever. In one screenshot, there is a pointer that is being used to select Mario Kart 8, so I assume the Joy-Cons may have pointer controls. Also, your username is displayed at the top left of the screen to your profile picture. It doesn't look like the OS allows multiple accounts at once, so I assume there will be a login feature. Yeah, that's about it. If I'm able to, I will try to get images and share with the mods for verified proof, but this OS is genuinely an upgrade over the original Switch. Like I said, it looks like a modern Wii U and 3DS mixed with iOS and Samsung. Now, you might have noticed that Vidmo claim, and there's some controversy around this portion, and you could actually put this into the part of maybe making this leak a little bit less reliable, because the Vidmo icon that supposed users provided for it has been proven to be fake, so something that they found online. However, the claim that Vidmo is a service from Nintendo, it might just be one of those icon things that they tried to source something that they didn't actually have an image of, and maybe there's a shot that this is real, but I am definitely tempering my expectations on this portion of the leak. So you can then see Nintendo is launching a built-in social media for Switch 2 called Vidmo. I don't want to share too much about how I got this information because it could lead to someone getting in serious trouble. Essentially, this will be somewhat similar to what Miiverse was on the Wii U. Users can share screen recorded content and make posts. I haven't seen it, but apparently the app icon looks similar to that of YouTube, but it's green. The app is designed in the style of TikTok, apparently, with a lot of vertical scrolling to view content. Yes, I am serious. There will also be a direct messaging feature and community options for a feeling of social connection. I have also been told that the C button is related to the community feature of this app. That's all I really know about this thing so far, but supposedly Vidmo will be available day 1 on Switch 2, with the stripped down mobile phone version releasing sometime later. Okay, so valid leak or not, I definitely like a lot of what we are hearing from this OS side of things specifically. The community stuff would be cool, like something akin to Miiverse coming back, I would not be opposed to, but more important than any of that stuff that I honestly probably wouldn't spend that much time with, I just want a very functional UI when it comes to having a ton of games, because one thing we have to think about is that Nintendo Switch 1 games, the entire library, are rolling forward day 1. That's confirmed from Furukawa. So we're going to have all of our Switch 1 library there as soon as we boot up this console, plus everything that we're going to get for Switch 2, and only having that singular row of icons and then the all software menu that fortunately Nintendo did add in, of course, the groups feature later on. That's still not perfect, and I want folders or multiple icons to look at on just the home screen itself. Things like music, themes, and all of that Nintendo personalized touch, I think would be a very welcome upgrade for this next gen hardware. I think the simplicity of the Switch was cool when it first launched, but considering they never changed it over the life cycle of the entire Switch's 7, almost 8 years on the market now, people are ready for something different and some optional music. You know, don't make it a mandatory theme, but just have something there that you can have playing in the background that is very Nintendo-like at any time, and you can simply enable or disable that in the settings, having dynamic themes that have moving graphics in the background tied to some of your favorite upcoming releases. When we're learning about stuff like the next major 3D Zelda, Nintendo can even sell us those or include them as part of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack membership as a free perk, and that has an extra way to get people that much more hyped for the game and kind of get you in tune and talking about it with all your friends. Like, it definitely is a no-brainer decision for Nintendo. The Vidmo portion of this is kind of where I do feel like there's a little bit of a red flag with all of this info, and again, I'm heavily putting this in the rumor category. You should not buy it or take it to the bank 100%. Maybe this person got lucky with that guess of just having some kind of pointer control, specifically around saying like the Mario Kart icon had that pointer control on there, and maybe that's not tied to any of this Joy-Con 2 stuff that we've seen that I do believe to be 100% legit. I don't necessarily know that this particular post proves that, and it might have just been a lucky guess type of scenario. But when it comes to some kind of connect or community function that will be baked into this console, I do think that something will be there. The more video focused, vertically scrolling Vidmo app specifically is not necessarily what that needs to look like. It might look like that, but you just think about stuff that we saw Nintendo test out towards the end of the Switch's life cycle, like this NSO playtest program that was here and then it's just gone. You know, we got that wrapped up, I believe, the beginning of November. I did get into that playtest program myself. There's an interesting game that's maybe being baked out as like a giant MMO online multiplayer experience, almost Roblox / Minecraft-esque, that Nintendo is dabbling into. And I do think that that was some kind of beta test for a larger community-driven project, and more connection of mass multiplayer games online because of how many users you had together in the same world. So the fact that we have a C button that we don't know what it does, I'm thinking that's community center, command, something along those lines that does actually tie into voice chat or the simple ability to message one of your friends or hop into a party chat together. I think all of that stuff is actually features that we will see on the Switch 2. It's just, is this the form we will actually see them in? And that's where you can debate it more. But we even have the leak of course, a microphone being in the shipping data. And now with all of these accessory manufacturers and just straight up pictures of the motherboard we've seen and all of that, it does seem that there is indeed confirmed to be a microphone built into this console itself. And why would you provide a microphone and actually source that part and include it in the console unless if chat online was some kind of integrated feature out of the gate? And you talk about Nintendo Switch Online being confirmed to roll forward. Obviously, Nintendo's going to want to give users that many more reasons to stay subscribed or subscribe to for the first time to that service. And I think it's only logical that party chat and having direct messages with friends and having a better social connection and social hub built out is just going to be that much of an extra reason to make sure you're an NSO subscriber going forward into their next gen hardware. Just look at the money that is making Nintendo on a reoccurring annual or monthly basis right now. They're not going to pull back on that service. They're only going to add more to it. I'm even thinking consoles like GameCube, Wii, and maybe even DS and 3DS over the life cycle of Switch 2 are largely possible with this. And also side note, we probably will still do another Joy-Con deep dive video, but that optical mouse sensor that's in the Joy-Con could indeed be a little bit of a way to solve for something like DS games if you want to have really accurate pinpoint precision control on the screen, and that may be a way to do it in docked mode. So we're gonna have to wait and see how all of this unfolds, but I wanted to put this out there in case it was something that got you guys guys excited? What do you think of the idea of a more modernized Wii U/3DS home menu for the next generation Nintendo hardware? Do you think that would be a good fit? Would you welcome things like personalized themes that are dynamic? Would you welcome things like background music? Or do you think Nintendo will give us something more, a little bit more advanced than what we have with the Switch 1 today, but not drastically changing the game? And what do you make of all of this Connect or community features? Do you think social online presence is a thing that Nintendo will get into this time around on their next gen hardware, or will it largely still be tied to stuff like the smartphone app and some extra hoops you have to jump through because maybe Nintendo doesn't like to do that stuff directly themselves? But make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.